Good afternoon. It's Betty again. You may get tired of that Betty again, but anyway, we're out here on my back porch and I'm listening to the birds. And it's amazing. Do you ever stop and just listen around you at the sounds, the beautiful sounds? I've got one bird in one tree singing one way and another one in another tree singing another way. Then the wind chimes are blowing every once in a while. It's just beautiful sounds of quietness that I love from time to time. There's times you just want to be alone and just think about life and what's going on and what you can do to help others or what you might say to encourage someone. And I was thinking today as I was out here on my porch about how that we all struggle with a few things in life. And one of my struggles was that I wanted everything to be perfect. I wanted everything to be just right. When I would make a school report at school, a lot of times I didn't want it to be just a report. Everybody could make just a report. But I'd sit down to make a report, and if I'd misspell or make a letter just wrong, I'd tear up the paper and I'd start all over again. And I created a daughter that's just a whole lot like me, that she would sit down and she'd make a report and there'd be nothing wrong with the report. She'd say, Mom, read this and see what you think. And I'd read it and well, this is good. She'd say, no, it's not. It's not good enough. And she'd rip it up and she'd start on another one. Well, that's the way I've been in life. I would start things and I'd tear it up and I'd do and I'd redo and redo and rip out and put in and trying to do everything to be perfect. Well, I hate to tell you folks, but we ain't perfect. We never will be perfect. We never have been perfect. But I believe we need to try to be our best. We need to work hard to be at our best. But when we reach our perfect, what we think is perfect, it's still not perfect, but we've done our best. And we need to let it go and let it be our best. I remember when I was younger that I went to church and they had piano players and musicians that were great. Oh, some of them could play just by ear. They didn't have to have sheet music and they could play anything. Beautiful music. And I always wanted to be just like them. I just had to be like them. I remember that I started taking music lessons or piano lessons, and my mother, their house was so small, she didn't want no piano in her house because her house she thought was too little to have a piano in it. So she'd take me to the church, and I'd go in the church, and I'd go in and I'd practice my lessons, and I'd go over and over and over and over them. And to the piano teacher, I was doing fine, but to me, they never was as good as what Sister Shirley could play the piano and what Sister Sherry and Shirley could sing. I couldn't sing good enough. I couldn't play good enough. So I just kept on practicing and practicing. And as I got older, well, Mama finally, one of my aunts gave me an old upright piano. And I remember Mom and Dad putting that piano in a room behind the garage because she still didn't want no piano in her house. So I would sit out there in the afternoons or in the mornings and during the day and practicing that old piano. And it was cold in the wintertime and it was hot in the summertime, but I kept practicing. I never did get good at the piano at all. I mean, I just couldn't play it. My left hand didn't work with my right hand. I had two left hands is what I had. But you say, well, Sister Betty, did you do this or did you do that? Yes, I played at church. I played the organ, but I just chorded. I did not play. I never knew how to really play. But I always wanted to. I always knew I wasn't good enough. But I done my best for the Lord. I done my best where I was needed. And I can really tell you some stories about some of the positions I got in trying to play the music when I really didn't have a talent for the music. But you know, God knew deep down in my heart that I was doing the best that I could. And people judge you different than what God judges you. I know that to a person listening to me, they think, oh God, what a mess. But with God listening to me, God heard that I knew that I was trying to do my very best. And there's going to be a lot of things in your life that comes up. And I get touched when I listen to people talk and they talk about, I'm never good enough. I hope I can do this and I hope I can do that, instead of saying, I'm doing my best and I'm doing what God has me to do. There is a difference between doing things and doing and giving your all. And I think God expects us to give our all and to do our best. But when we've done it, we need to lay it aside and say, I've done my best. I know there's no sense in laying there at night just worrying about what all I've done today. I've taught Sunday school classes for years and years. And I'd teach a Sunday school class, then I'd go home the next night or that night, and I couldn't sleep because I wondered, did I say what I should have said? Or I should have said this and I should have said that. There comes a time you have to lay things aside and say, God, I've done my best. And have faith that you have done your best. And God, that's all He expects of us. He don't expect no more than our best. And we need to give our best, but we need to let it go when it comes time to let it go. So keep your chin up, give your best, love your neighbors, do something special for someone today. And we'll talk to you again.